District ISD 701 to order. It's 3:33, roughly Wednesday, November 13th, 2024 at 3:30 p.m. and 3:33 Central Standard Time. With that, move to item 2, Pledge of Allegiance. Please stand if you wish. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. And with that, Director Martin, is there anything on the public comment there? Or no? Panel? Okay. And there, we'll move to item 4, administrative reports. Or director's reports, I mean.
Chair, I just have a couple of things. First of all, I just want to thank everybody in all our schools for the great job they did putting on the Veterans Day tributes. The one at the high school, I was at that one, and it was absolutely amazing. The other thing is, thank you to Tyler and his team. I had a chance to look at the improvements that they've made in the Lincoln School pool with the lighting and talk to Ben's. It's absolutely amazing what they did down there. So kudos to the staff that did that. And then to all our PTOs, I think that now there's some book fairs going on, and that's a huge thing. So it's I think the kids enjoy it, and it's a great thing, and it takes a lot of volunteer hours. So kudos to all our PTOs. That's all I have.
I have two things too. So I know that Mrs. Gary just spoke now, but I'm sure that Mr. Aldrich was probably also made of the situation. So this is the second meeting now that we've had people comment to us about issues with technical support staff when dealing in our auditorium. Do we know, or has anybody heard? I know that I haven't, but I mean, are we looking in? Is Mr. Aldrich looking into this? Is it being addressed? Are we, putting something in motion so this doesn't continue to happen? What is happening there?
He said he was going to look into it, maybe Kim could.
Well, and I received a call on Saturday, and I was planning on talking to Superintendent Aldrich either on Monday when I was here or today, and we haven't connected either time, so I haven't talked to him.
I'll get in touch with him and
Yeah,
tell
I
him.
just think that if, now we have somebody else kind of bringing up the same thing, that we should certainly look into it rather than just ignore it or.
Yeah, he's not the only one I've received, and this is I'm not kidding, I received about 6 calls. And I also had a conversation with our HPAT representative, and the problem there is it's bad. I mean, it needs to be addressed. And, we've talked about trying to get a full-time manager for that, but again, budget-wise, can we afford to do it? That's part of the problem, so. But yeah, if Mr. Aldrich can be made aware of it.
I'll call him and tell him and put it up
We'll put it on the
high on the
agenda.
list of priorities, so, because it's been going on for such a long time.
Yeah. And then my other thing is, I know Mr. Aldrich isn't here, but maybe Alex, you might have information on this. It's been about 8 to 10 months since our finance committee has met. And I know, we have our truth and taxation meeting coming up. We made, changes to our, we cut, transportation, and we did the realignment and hoped that we were going to be saving money. And, when we did all of that, it looked great on paper, but, I know that it's important to know where are we at today, and are we getting what we thought we would for the money savings in doing that. And so I feel like if we have this finance committee and we're not meeting.
Well, get together with the finance committee and include Alex and then have her,
But so do you know when we're going to be meeting, or can we get one scheduled? Because
you can call and tell people, or with 2 more people in there.
well, it's me, Kim, Alex, and Mr. Aldrich, as far as I'm aware.
Just send them an email to see if they can set up a meeting time.
We can meet, we're close to wrapping up our audit financial statements, so we'll have those approved in December. So
Once he does that, then you can let them know.
You know what, the one thing I have to say, because we brought it up at our reorganization meeting, this truth in taxation meeting, and it's nobody's fault,
Same as the city.
but we asked at the beginning of the year when we reorganized, or at some point, if it could be at a different time so taxpayers could attend both meetings. And after inquiring today, I learned that the date and time are printed on the tax statements.
Yeah.
So it's already printed, and I'm really disappointed in that. And not that we get a big audience, but I think more and more people want to be present and ask questions. So I think we're stuck again this year. And I know, like Alex suggested, maybe when we meet with the city in February, January, it's something we can bring up. But I really feel badly that it's another year that has to go by.
Isn't that by statute?
Yeah, it's by statute the date.
That it
At a
can't,
certain point, you have to do
that
it.
it can't
today.
start before 6 PM.
That he can't start.
It can be any day between the end of November and the end of December.
And through all the time on the board, there's only been 1 or 2 people in 29 years that showed up.
I suggest that when we reorganize in January, just
We do
have
it
a meeting on a
right
Tuesday or a Monday or.
now. Yeah.
Yeah, that, maybe see if that works.
Again, and like you're right, nobody ever comes, but at least give people the opportunity.
So
Okay.
yes, if we can do that meeting, that'd be great, and then maybe we could just
Yeah, that'll be.
get on the books of doing it maybe once a quarter,
Sure.
or rather than just waiting it. I just feel like 8 to 10 months in between is just too long.
Yep, and when we approve the odds, that'll be a conversation for the whole board, and then shortly thereafter, maybe the finance committee can get together and talk about our next move for the spring. So,
Or even have Bonnie present at a finance committee meeting, because I know sometimes it gets a little long for the entire board. But if the finance committee wants to go over it in more detail, she might be there, might be willing to meet with the finance committee to go through the whole audit report.
Well, remember too, an audit doesn't take a day.
Yeah.
It's a couple of months.
we've been working on it since early September, so.
Very good. Anything else?
Just something from the student.
Or just to
Sorry.
say- go ahead.
I just want to go over the parking policy and the crossing policy. The crossing on 7th Avenue East is not safe at all. I've almost gotten hit multiple times by parents running that stop sign. People have ran that stop sign multiple times. I feel like we need to do something about that because that is not safe for any
Are you talking
student.
about the one over here?
Yeah.
Maybe
So-
we could put a flashing light or something.
Yeah, because this morning, a lady ran that stop sign right when I was crossing and almost hit me. First day of school, I almost got hit again. It is not safe for students, and the parking isn't safe either, in my opinion. We have trash everywhere, we have trucks driving off the side of the road on the crosswalk, and there's a police officer there every morning, and they don't do anything. I've seen kids vape, smoke basically in that parking lot, and they're just,
Are you talking at the memorial?
yeah,
The memorial?
MP. People, there's a police officer and he does absolutely nothing. I've seen people drift, donuts, everything in that parking lot. And there's a police officer in there and he's just sitting on his computer doing nothing. And it's not safe for anyone. It's not safe. I got my car vandalized there last year. Nothing happened. Got 2 reports into the police station. Still didn't happen. I don't know who did it. And it's just not safe. I don't know what to do, and it's like, especially for PSEO students, like, they have to go park there in the cold during the month when they only have 1 class in the high school, go back, come back, and I know some students don't like it when they only have 1 class per day, and it's not fair to them sometimes.
To address the stop over here, that's a city situation. But
Okay.
we as a board can approach the city and ask them if they can put a flashing sign up there.
Yeah,
It's just not something, you just can't go to an intersection and put a stop sign up. They do a complete study and all that.
yeah, because,
So, and as far as the police officers, I think it's another thing that contact, and I'll even contact Chief Esty and just mention it to him, and if they need more supervision I know they're there at night watching it too, so.
yeah, because of sports, I have to park there sometimes at night, and they've been getting me on that for parking there at night, but still, it's like, students just can drive off the sidewalk.
Yeah, no,
And it's not cool, because it's like, especially because of their trucks,
You
they
gonna
think
talk
it's.
to him?
I'll talk to Chief Esty.
Okay, good, thank
And
you.
it might get worse in the winter when
Yeah,
there's
same here.
banks.
Yeah, because they'll just do donuts and stuff in that parking lot, and they don't plow it sometimes, so we don't know where to park. And that crosswalk is slippery, they never salt it, so I've almost slipped a few times going on that, and I have particular tendonitis in my knee, and it hurts when I fall, and it can take me out for my rest of my season.
I'll also talk to the city, I think you can talk to Jesse and see if there's something to do.
Thank you.
Yeah, and I am bringing out a survey to the students, probably coming next school board meeting, where the students, I'm gonna bring it out to them, a survey where they can comment of anything they want me to bring up from the school board. Just anything, I don't really know. And like how they feel in the school, if it's safe, if they have someone they can trust, and if anything, we need to improve a little bit more about the school and everything.
And, you know, and maybe Carrie can comment on this, but I believe the state also has us put out a student survey that's probably, what's the right word? Not validated, that's not the right word, but it's normalized
Yeah.
maybe through the state, so we do that every year,
3 years.
every 3
So-
years.
Yeah, and they are doing the Minnesota Student Survey this year.
Okay, so that might be
Mm.
another.
I already have one planned out, and I talked to Snyder talked to Sikora, and we all have a collaboration on it, so it'll probably be brought up in the next 2 weeks probably. See what the students have to say about the school, because I've heard from students, there's a new student that just came here. She didn't get a tour at all, no one introduced her to the school, and it's just not fair, because when I got here, I got like Kate Toohey on the student board, like school board, or student, whatever it's called, I don't remember, sorry. Yeah, student council, like showing me around, texting me and everything, and it seems like from there it's just gone downhill and everything. Because there's 2 new students, they didn't get a tour at all, they didn't even know we had a library here at all. I feel bad for them.
If we could get it before the meeting though, so we have a chance to read through the comments,
Yeah.
that would be helpful.
Yeah, I will.
Thank you. Anything else? Okay, with that, we'll move to item B, administrators and staff. Hearing none, we'll move to item C, any committee reports? Well, we just discussed that. With that, item 5, motion to approve the agenda.
Almost.
Moved by Director Polter, supported by Director Egan. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carried, thank you. With that, we'll move to item 6, a motion to approve the consent agenda.
Almost.
Support.
Moved by Director Polter, supported by Director Martin. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carried, thank you. With that, we'll move to item, where am I here? 7, administrative business, Sir Alex.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
You're welcome.
I made a motion to nominate a school board director for a 2-year term to the Range Association of Municipalities Board of Directors. Mr. Aldrich wanted me to remind you that we don't have to vote or nominate anyone, and I guess we had a couple of directors that expressed interest.
And if Jeff wants to do it, it's
Fine with it.
Thursday nights, and we can just get an update, that works for me too.
That's free.
As it was explained to me too, those meetings move around. Now, they used to be all at the service club, so they could go all across the area, so.
I am perfectly.
And he also mentioned that we would have to be physically in attendance to get our
To
vote.
vote for it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think we can-
Is there a motion to nominate Jeff?
So moved.
Support.
Moved by Director Egan, supported by Director Martin. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carried, thank you.
Item B is a motion to adopt a resolution regarding the superintendent's contract.
Support.
Moved by Director Polter, supported by Director Egan. Any discussion?
I've got some questions on it, since this is the first time since I've been on the board that this has come up. I know Mr. Aldrich had sent me, I believe it was something that you guys had looked over in your meeting. That was the list of the schools you know, and where those superintendents were, and, you know, looking at that breakdown, if you were to, you know, put it in large, medium, and small, we would certainly be in the, you know, top bracket, the larger schools. So, but my question really was, you know, how are we justifying the difference here? When I look at the older contract, it was mainly a 5% increase overall, year to year. And now this time it's 8%, 6%, and 8%, which is quite large. I didn't know if the superintendent's increase in their contract, if that sets the tone for the admin's contracts, and then from there sets the tone for the teachers' contracts, you know, do they, I don't know, because so
It hasn't
that's
been
one of my
passed.
questions.
They were separated all the time because there weren't any comparisons like that.
We asked the same question,
Yeah.
and I think Alex was present too, and that's not the case. And one of the things we looked at, I mean, I have a printout of Minnesota average superintendent salaries, and even with our superintendent's increases, it's below the average. But when we hired Superintendent Aldrich almost 6 years ago, I think he's working on his 6th year, he didn't have any experience as a superintendent. So we started him off on the low end of things. And now when you look at the difference between our principals and our superintendent, there wasn't much of a difference. So we asked that too, and the percentages.
And we did the evaluations and he scored well and all that, so, but like Kim said, that was one of the,
And we compared him to the other area superintendents, as well as Director Berklich brought a list of like the service co-op chairs or whatever, executive directors, and he still would be far below that.
and some of the higher ones, they have cars, they were allotted and insurance stuff.
Yeah, and I'm sure they're not all apples to
Right,
apples, you know,
exactly.
everybody, and it's not just, okay, you know, just the number of students, but, you know,
Right.
what are they going to be, the projects, you know, what do they have to deal with? I mean, it's not the same, even if you are a larger school, so, I do believe that you guys looked into all that. I just, it wasn't provided to any of us, you know,
Right.
so that's where my questions came from, because when I look at what the third year salary is going to be, that's a lot of money, and can we truly afford that? I mean, when we look at the enrollment list that Trina sent out as of October 25th, we're down 28 students. So our enrollment is continuing to drop, and yet we're going to be bumping up the salary to be that large. That's concerning.
But it's
Can
not
we
based,
afford it?
it's not based on just the student count.
No, it isn't, you're right,
No,
but again, can we truly afford it? And are we gonna, in a couple months, have to come back and say, we have to cut, you know, $1 million, we have to cut programs, we have to cut teachers? Is that fair to have to cut a teacher to give the superintendent an 8%, 6%, 8%? That's what I'm saying.
I look at the performance that Mr. Aldrich has done in the last 6 years, and what we're giving him for a pay increase is well worth it. I'd hate to lose him. I think that if you look at what we have here compared to what he could get somewhere else, we're getting a pretty good deal. And I think it's well worth what he has done for his district, his administration. I just...
And I think, I agree with you completely, and I think you have to look beyond percentages to what the actual figures are. That, you know, what our
But the
other,
figures are still large.
well, how do they compare to others? In the same job in different districts.
You have to look what he has done in the past thing. Like I said, his evaluation was right up there on all the categories, so
And you know
that
what?
helped.
And just the other thing, in thinking about, first of all, I want to clarify, I looked at that report and I don't have it in front of me. And yes, I was concerned and talked to Superintendent Aldrich because from the previous month's enrollment report, it declined. But I think we're still net ahead of where we were last year.
Well, it says on the report, it gives 2023 and 2024, and there's a 28% decrease this year from 2023. That's what this report shows.
So we were,
I think
Yeah,
we're still up a few.
We were supposed to
We're
be-
not up as many as we were at the like 10 or 14 day count.
there was-
Not according to this. This is the report Trina sent out. We have right now 2,307 students, and in 2023, it was 2,335, according to this report.
Because at one time we were 40 up and then it went down to like 14 or something and the whole fall quarter, you kind of had to wait till the end of it before things settled in because that one went all over the place.
But I don't have the reports in front of me, but I know I was looking at the like 10 or 14 day mark compared to where we were. But the other thing, commenting back to the contract, and just off the top, without even thinking about it, in the last year, when we gave him the goal to establish relationships and secure outside funding, I mean, look at the $8.3 million just off the top between what we got through the taconite tax funds and then legislative, and then the additional $300,000 just kind of like, because he was on top of it. So just, you know, like being able to do that and being on top of working, I think, with Kirk and the VPK funding. So, well, they're big numbers. And I think they're big numbers all over. And to have a superintendent that can leverage those additional outside dollars and bring them into our district, I think is pretty remarkable.
Rick comes to the table with such a high level of skills and connections in the community. If he goes out to the legislature, he gets hurt. And we've seen that in our checkbook. And he has generated significant funds that maybe some other superintendent couldn't have got. So I think there's nobody that has worked harder than Rick to improve the quality of education here and improving funding mechanisms, et cetera.
I just like to say, I'd like to give you kudos for bringing this up, because you actually got a chance to talk about it. And each one of us has our opinion, and we can justify and raise. In my mind, I can, but I give you credit for your work that you do to bring this up, because sometimes you know, people just let it slide, and that's one thing this board, I think, it has improved on us. We kind of question a lot of things and the way they're handled, so I give you kudos for that.
And the other thing, we've got 3 administrators sitting here, and I think that besides the external relations, I think the internal administrative and leadership team that he's pulled together and the way he works with them, I mean, I'm not there every day, but it sure seems like they get the job done.
And being on the state board with the service co-ops, we're finding that when the superintendents leave, try to find one replacement, they're making quite a bit more to find somebody that, like anything else, is getting scarce, so.
And I'll share this with you, but if you want, this is just the Minnesota school superintendent salary. And for 2024, the average salary, not benefits, not salary plus bonus, some of them get bonus, but the average median superintendent salary was $184,713 for 24.
I better go back to school.
Well, it's good discussion, so. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carried. Thank you. Good discussion. And it lets the public know too that we're trying to be stewards, financial stewards.
You know what, and can I back up? The one thing, when we were sitting at the table, you know what, and just like the other bargaining units, Superintendent Aldrich came to us with his list of requests. And we called Alex in and we said to Superintendent Aldrich, like, we appreciate the work you do, but we can't afford to give you all this. You know what I mean? And we called Alex in and he said, you know, like, just, we need to prioritize here, because the other thing that I felt good about is, well, it's a salary increase, I think the other couple things that he got, it balances what we're paying him today versus what we're deferring into a later date. And so we're kind of balancing today's cost versus tomorrow's cost and not putting like 3 or 4 beginning teachers in the year that he would choose to retire, or the cost of.
And he did share with me then too, the list of, you know, the things that were accepted, that were rejected. So
Yeah.
it wasn't, you know, that everything that he asked for is approved. But again, I had emailed Mr. Chair Berklich about it just because, you know, all we're given is what's on the agenda. And I personally like to have those backup informations that I can read and understand before coming to the meeting and just making a vote, so.
Great. Thank you. With that, Alex?
Item C, as motion to adopt a resolution canvassing the returns of votes for the November 5th, 2024 school district general election.
Support.
Moved by Director Polter, supported by Director Martin. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carried.
Item D is a motion to adopt a resolution authorizing the issuance of certificates of election and directing the school district clerk to perform other election-related duties.
Support.
Moved by Director Polter, supported by Director McLaughlin. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carried. Thank you.
Item E is a motion to adopt a resolution canvassing the returns of votes for the November 5th, 2024 school district special election.
So moved.
Support.
Moved by Director Martin, supported by Director Duarte. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion carried. Thank you.
And item F, motion to adopt a resolution authorizing the issuance of certificates of election and directing the school district clerk to perform other election-related duties. Support.
Moved by Director Egan, supported by Director Polter. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carried. Thank you. With that, we'll move to item 8. Nothing there. Any,
Mr. Chair, before everyone gets up and goes, I'm gonna need signatures for this election stuff.
from who?
All the school.
Okay. I was saying, don't include the other.
No, sorry.
Okay, without objection, Jeff,
I'll motion to adjourn.
meeting's adjourned at 4:02. I'd like to thank everybody for being here. Good discussion all the way around.
The Hibbing Historical Society invites you to visit their museum and their website at hibbinghistory.org to learn everything about the town that moved. HPAT would like to thank them for their ongoing general support. HPAT thanks Premier Fitness at the Lux for their donation and support. They welcome individual and family memberships. To learn more, call them at 218-440-1191. Hibbing Public Access TV may be viewed on these platforms: hpat.org with video on demand, Mediacom Hibbing 802, 805, and 807. On Roku, Apple TV, and Amazon Fire TV. Download the Hibbing Public Access TV app for your iPhone and Android devices. Find us on Facebook, YouTube, and Vimeo. For more information, scan the QR code and go to hpat.org.